This is my first. I've been going out quite all right, but speaking publicly after the event of March 18th. I've been a bit careful because when I go for an event and the body language of the environment, if it's not in tune with what I believe in, I feel very unhappy, because for a lot of you here, you don't know what the situation is. It's not about Oshobe. It gets to a situation where Oshobe don't solve problem. That is the truth. So for that reason, I'm a bit careful. But this particular event is something I honestly cannot avoid. Clark is a very special person to every one of us, and more especially to me. So I feel I'm indebted to him. Yes, I might have supported the burial program, but putting in my presence here is the most important thing. Before I go into the main business, because I found out that a good number of you deviated from the program today. The program is a tribute for Clark. It's not an issue of Fubara. I am not disputing the message God gave to you, my bishop, but in this particular event is a message to talk about Clark. Because the way you hammered it, when they live here, that is not the way to be presented. It will be Siminalayi Fubara has gathered his supporters to make statements against the minister and the president. That is not what I need now. What I need now, even some of you, have you asked yourself, do you think I am even interested in going back there? I want to ask you, don't you see how better I look? Do you think I'm interested in it? If I have my way, I say it's here. This is an altar of God. I don't wish going back there. My spirit has left that place long ago. So all this, I want everybody to focus. Please. It's not everything you do. You think there's some fight you don't fight. There's some things you don't do, because you need to ask the person, does he want it? I have peace. If you have known me, you've been seeing me, you can say I look better now.
That was the suspended governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, speaking at the service of songs for the late Niger Delta elder statesman by Edwin Clark, who was also the convener of PANDEF, Pan Niger Delta Forum. He was, in his speech, he literally threw people who spoke against his suspension at that occasion under the bus. You didn't see those who spoke before him, but you can see that those who spoke before him had turned the event, the service of songs, as a protest against his suspension, his illegal suspension by President Bola Tinubu. Why did I say illegal? Because the Nigerian Bar Association, the highest legal body in Nigeria, umbrella body of lawyers in Nigeria, reached that conclusion that it was an illegality what happened in Rivers State. Both the state of emergency, the suspension of the governor, the suspension of the deputy governor, the suspension of the State House of Assembly, the imposition of a sole administrator, they were illegal steps that in a decent society where the court is truly the last hope of the common man, it wouldn't stand. So these people spoke, and you can see that Fubara threw them under the bus. I don't want to be too harsh on Fubara, but what he did was not nice. Throwing those people under the bus. But I can tell you for free, I don't know Edwin Clark personally, but I know Edwin Clark historically. And the history of Edwin Clark that I know, Edwin Clark will be happy that his service of song was turned into an avenue to protest against the action of the federal government in Rivers State, the action of President Bola Tinubu imposing an illegal state of emergency in Rivers State and removing a duly elected governor of a state. In fact, the Edwin Clark will be disappointed that even Fubara tried to shut them up, not to speak out, because Edwin Clark will die fighting against that illegality. And the other day, a woman activist in Niger Delta said that if Edwin Clark had been alive, perhaps Fubara would not have been removed from office the way he was. So for Sibi Fubara to talk to them like that was unfair. What he could have said, knowing the circumstance, how Nyesom, Wike and co are always using everything against him, what he ought to have said is that I appreciate all that you said here, but I know that tomorrow they will think I'm the one that sponsored you to say this in this occasion. But to say that they shouldn't turn it into a political, into Simi Fubara. No. Edwin Clark would love it that it was turned to a Simi Fubara matter. Because Simi Fubara matter is an indictment on our democracy. It's an insult to democracy, what is happening in Rivers State and what was allowed to happen since March 18 in Rivers State. That is the truth. So Simi Fubara got it wrong from that perspective, throwing his supporters. The supporters who are protesting, including those at the service of song, and including those who goes to the streets, they are not doing it because of Fubara alone. They are doing it for posterity. They are doing it for democracy. He was not the one, from all indications, he's not the one sponsoring them. Forget about what Nyesom, Wike and his supporters are throwing around that he's sponsoring them. Because that was what Fubara was avoiding in condemning those who were speaking in his favor. Because he knew, and he said it there, tomorrow the headline will be different. As they spoke, they will say that Simi Fubara gathered his supporters and they will use it against him. They will use it against the resolution of the illegal state of emergency. Because this illegal state of emergency ought not to reach up to 6 months ordinarily, even though it was the limit that was set for it for now, that it will run for 6 months. If the crisis in Rivers wasn't settled, it could be extended. That's what it means. But a lot of people had hoped that it is not, with the condemnation it has generated, it's not supposed to pass 3 months. But here we are. Nyesom, Wike and co, they don't even want it to end because the sole administrator that was put there is doing the bidding of Nyesom, Wike and co. Because those from Rivers State have alleged that many of the people being appointed to positions by the sole administrators are mostly people who are pro-Nyesom Wike. That's the allegation. So the idea, what he did, I know it was because of Nyesom Wike group, and he did say that he threw these people under the bus. And he went on to say that those who are even protesting in his favor, do they know whether he wants to go back there again? He said, don't you see how better I look? Do you think I am interested again? If I have my way, I don't wish to go back there. My spirit has already left there. He said that his spirit has already left there. It doesn't mean that he don't want to go back. Because if his spirit had already left there, truly, and he don't want to go back, then why are you stopping those who are protesting? You would have allowed them to continue to protest since you don't want to go back. And yes, so we can go. They don't, from their body language, they don't even want the emergency to end so that you don't go back. So it's neither here nor there, that kind of position. But the truth of the matter is, why I have sympathy for him and why every Nigerian should have sympathy for Fubara is because Fubara sounds very broken by the Nigerian system. This is the only country in the world where a godfather is given far more preference than a constitutionally elected governor of a state. This is a country where unelected godfather is given more prominence, much more consideration than the deputy governor of a state, than the state house of assembly of a state. What is happening to Fubara is like Nigeria has happened to Fubara, and you can see he is a broken spirit. And I can understand his pains. He has been forced to eat the humble pie, and it was not nice to him. You know, recently there was a meeting widely reported in the media in which Siminalayi Fubara went to Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Nyesom Wike, in Abuja, in company of the company of Ebonyi State Governor, Ogun State Governor, and former Governor of Ogun State. It was narrated how they went together with Fubara, they went to Wike's Abuja residence. And only God could imagine what Nyesom Wike said to him as he went there to beg, as people are telling him, go and beg. You can imagine what a bully would do to somebody, you know, somebody as humble as Siminalayi Fubara. Only God knows what he will say to Fubara, what the humiliating words he will say. And Fubara will endure all those insults. I can imagine. That's why he is broken. So even as I'm not happy the way he threw these people under the bus, but I can imagine where he was coming from. So many of you don't know what is going on. It is because of that kind of thing. The humiliation this man has collected, a duly elected governor of a state, because of godfatherism. And I also understand that he has also made concessions. Despite his concessions, because the Nyesom Wike can't believe they are on top of the world right now, they don't even give a damn. They want the state of emergency to continue. As far as they are concerned, he's out of the way. They wanted to impeach him, but they couldn't impeach him because they do not have the Chief Justice of Rivers State on their side. Then they resorted to imposition of state of emergency. They humiliated him. He gave them concession. Shortly after he gave them concession, agreeing for peace, then there was a walkout staged against the sole administrator's wife, and Nyesom Wike ran to the media to say that it was Fubara that was sponsoring them, that he will come in the night and talk about peace, then in the afternoon he's sponsoring protests. That was exactly what he was running away from at the service of song. But the service of song of elder statesman by Edwin Clark would have been incomplete. It would have been an insult on the legacy of Edwin Clark if at his service of song people don't call out Nyesom Wike and Tinubu for what happened in Rivers State and what is happening in Rivers State. That is the gospel truth. The elders, those who spoke before Fubara and were hammering on him, being illegally removed, they were right. That is the kind of thing that will make Edwin Clark, make him very happy. Because nothing was as important to Edwin Clark like Fubara remaining the governor of Rivers State. He even went to court to challenge the plots against Fubara, all the effort that was made to remove him by the lawmakers who defected. So he was a very proactive elder who wanted the best for Niger Delta. So to think that his service or so nobody will mention Fubara got it all wrong. But I can also understand he wants to go back, even though he was saying that he is not interested in going back if given it left to him. But there is no doubt that he wants to go back. All these are for the optics. He wants to go back. He wants to go back and serve his people. Because if he doesn't want to go back, you can as well tell the PDP Governors Forum that went to court to challenge his removal to withdraw the case and then sit back so that Nyesom Wike and co and the sole administrator, they can do whatever they like in this state. But I think he's think that keeping quiet will be enough to assuage Nyesom Wike and co, so that they will call off the suspension, at least by the first 6 months. Because if you read the body language of Nyesom Wike and the way they talk, the bullish way they talk, you will see that they are very comfortable with the sole administrator. They want the sole administrator to conduct the local government election so that their people will be flooded everywhere in the local government. That is what they want. They don't want Fubara back. But Fubara believed that people protesting could harm that because they are using it against him. The other time when they protested, they told me that it was a protest, an insult, that Fubara and co, they were insulting the wife of the president by walking out. But they didn't walk out on the wife of the president. They walked out on the wife of the sole administrator. But that is how politics have been reduced in Nigeria. The person that has the constitution, I wonder what Cloud Ake will write if he's alive today. He has written copiously about godfatherism in Nigerian politics. I wonder what he will write, Cloud Ake. Go and Google him if you don't know him. Professor Cloud Ake. He has addressed, he has done a study on godfatherism in Nigeria. That a person who was elected is not in charge, the unelected is in charge, is one of the absurdities of Nigerian politics. And Siminalayi Fubara's case is a typical example of it. He has been subdued by the Nigerian state. The institutions of the state that ought to be on the side of elected governor was on the side of the godfather. That is why Peter Obi, the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, said that democracy is dying in Nigeria, and some people are still arguing about it. I don't know what you think about Fubara's outburst that you just watched at the service of songs for late Edwin Clark. Whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.